You're listening to the My Simplified Life podcast, and this is episode number 144. Welcome to the My Simplified Life podcast, a place where you will learn that your past and even your present don't define your future. Regardless of what stage of life you're in, I want you to feel inspired and encouraged to pursue your dreams, simplify your life, and start taking action today. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and I'm excited to share my stories and life lessons with you while taking you on my own journey. This is My Simplified Life. Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac. Today, you get to hear from another one of the amazing women that I spent time with on Necker Island. Nicola Wilkes, who I call Nikki, is the owner of Seriously Stylish Business out of the UK and also the host of the Empowered Businesswoman podcast. She is a coach for designers and creatives, but what she has to say around limiting beliefs and the lies that we tell ourselves is something that applies to all of us. You're going to hear an amazing conversation, not just around limiting beliefs, but around style and fashion. You're going to hear how much I adored seeing what Nikki was going to show up wearing every single day on the island. She is a joy and a pleasure to talk to, and I know that this episode is going to resonate with so many of you because there's so much that we need to get past, including finding our creative genes that we can use. And when I say creative, it doesn't just apply to drawing and painting and arts and crafts and that sort of thing. So sit back, put on your gold hoop earrings, your red lipstick, and enjoy my conversation with Nikki. Hello, Miss Nikki.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. I wish I was talking to you from our balconies right now and not from my office.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what? Those just good morning, hi, how are you across the balcony at Necker? They were amazing. It was so great to just be in that space. Like you're saying, starting your day in that way was phenomenal.
And even ending it when I had a glass of wine in my hand and was chatting to you while the sun was setting. So perfect.
It was all those moments, isn't it? It's that almost that classic holiday moment, but we all know it wasn't a holiday, but just that early evening feeling, like you say, when you're getting a glass of wine and you're starting to get ready for what's ahead of you at dinner. And yeah, it was just all those magical moments, but in the most incredible setting and with the most incredible women.
And so let's introduce you as one of the incredible women to everybody who's listening before we dive too further in.
Thank you. Well, yes, I'm Nicola Wilkes, and obviously I'm not in the States. I'm in the UK, and I'm a success coach for women in the design and creative industry. So I work with creative designer brains on how we can take our incredible talents and reach our highest performance in business. Because, you know, business is something, as we know, we learn as we go along.
Absolutely. And I love you work with creatives. This is something that I haven't come across for a coach.
Really?
Yeah, not that particular niche per se. So are we talking about like designers, fashion designers, interior designers? What encompasses that?
Absolutely. You are so right, Michelle. So those kind of women that have got businesses or careers that have been driven by a creative or design-led path. So it could be anything from an interior designer, an architect, a jewelry designer. I've got a client that's literally this week just launched her own sunglasses brand, really high-level designer sunglasses. I've got lots of jewelry designers. Underwear designers. I'm trying to think so many. And these women are really leading the way in their industries. So I work with women that are absolutely not starting from scratch. They're starting very much from experience. And they've reached that point in their career where they're thinking, I'm done. But it's like, you know, that feeling that we're about late 30s, early 40s, and we get this huge surge of, there's so much more I could do. I could actually be the best at what I do. I work with women to get to that level of highest performance.
And isn't that funny that we reach this age and we all feel the same way, yet nobody talks about it when we're in our 20s of like, hey, you think things are good now. Wait until you hit your 30s and 40s
Yeah.
and you're going to realize there's so much more. We don't talk about that.
No, and these women that I work with, they are on fire and they really are reaching heights in their career that they never knew were possible for them. And that's so exciting to see.
And why do you think they didn't know that these things were possible? What was there that was blocking it? Or did they just not look further ahead or at the greater potential?
Wow. Again, another amazing question. I think it's so much to do with the limits that when we're younger, we put on ourselves, or let's face it, the limits that are gifted to us. It's almost like I always make this comparison about a Fortnum and Mason hamper, obviously, you know, from the London store, and you're gifted these hampers at Christmas and New Year. And it's like we're gifted this hamper of all these limiting beliefs, especially between the ages of 0 and 7, when, you know, we're talking about epigenetics and these thoughts and processes that we learn and we carry them through into our working lives and our businesses and our careers. And do we ever stop at that age to really consider, are this hamper, this set of beliefs that's inside, are they what I would choose for myself? Are they aligned with the career or the business? Say, if you've become an entrepreneur, are they aligned with that way of living and working and thinking? And I think what happens is we kind of go with it for quite a while until it suddenly isn't serving us. And then for those of us that are lucky enough to suddenly wake up one day and become aware of these limits, and like I say, these beliefs we haven't necessarily chosen for ourselves, I think that's when we start to do the deep work, the deep level of inquiry and curiosity with ourselves as to, is there another set of beliefs that I could uphold to get me further than I already am?
Would you say that there's one limiting belief that comes up most frequently for your clients?
Oh, there's so many. But I think one, and I'm actually writing about this at the moment in a very deep personal project. And I think we guess this is a book. But it really is about how we say yes to what we really desire. And I think the one limiting belief that nearly every single woman that comes to work with me has at the beginning is that somebody's told her no, and she doesn't realize that all she has to do is just say yes to herself. She has to give herself permission. So I think we've got used to, as women, and we are conditioned to asking for permission before we step into our greater selves. And I think that's the limiting belief that we have, is that, guess what? We actually don't have to ask permission from anybody.
And so how do you advise someone to get over that? I mean, it's not just a wake up and say, hey, I'm going to stop asking permission. I'm just going to do it. What kind of exercises I assume you would, have, or what is it that you take people through to get past that limiting belief?
It starts so simply by lifting the weight, as I call it, day to day. So how we do one thing is how we do everything. So I make an analogy with my clients. It's like going to the gym. So you go to the gym and you start off almost lifting nothing, but just some really small weights. And then you maybe do that for a couple of days, and then you go back, and in the next session, you lift some heavier weights and you build up. So I make that analogy to start with because I always find it's one that people can get their head around, because nobody starts on a gym regime going in and lifting the heaviest weights, do they? Because you just can't. You will break. You just can't do it. So I start by encouraging anyone that works with me to just try giving themselves permission to saying yes to something that maybe feels slightly uncomfortable, maybe something they wouldn't normally give themselves permission to do, just unequivocally. Start there and build up. So quite often the biggest learnings we get are actually in our personal lives. And then we start looking at maybe giving ourselves permission to do something, maybe permission to go and join a class you really want to join, or go and do something that feels a little bit of a stretch. And then we find ourselves in our business thinking, you know what? Actually, maybe this stretch in my business, I can give myself permission to do that because this is starting to feel like a habit. something I feel a little bit more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. You make it sound so easy.
It's
well, Michelle, it really is. No,
Michelle, do you know what? No, I'm laughing because heck, it's not been easy. This is something I have absolutely had to learn myself. And it's so funny because like we've spent time together, and I don't consider myself a shy person anymore. I'm very much living by the mantra. An incredible lady I've recently met through business said the other day, and I said, I'm so adopting that. She said, heck, Nikki, I am just keeping going until somebody says no. And that's exactly where I'm at. I just keep going on everything until someone stops and says no.
And no, who's going to say no to you?
Hopefully nobody. But you know what? If somebody does, I just take it the other way and just think, thank you for setting me a goal. Thank you for setting me a hurdle that I understand I have an assignment to get over. And you're going to wish you hadn't said no. But like I say, if we just start, in all seriousness, if we just start by picking tiny things and we build up the weights, we build up the muscle, and we go to the mind gym every day, I see it time and time again that women suddenly, through the programs that I run, they suddenly morph into this permission giving to themselves, phenomenal woman that just suddenly sees no limits. She starts seeing anything that was an obstacle as literally just something she has to figure out how to get around, get over, work with, on the path to growth and success.
And now, why creatives? What drew you to work with designers specifically?
My entire career has been in design and in the creative industry. So we teach what we want to learn, right? So I've run businesses all my career. I've worked in design, and I realized that I had this attitude of, I'm just going to keep going until somebody says no. And it was at a certain point that I started working with a coach and identified that this was how I managed to create a successful career, and that perhaps not everybody thought like that. So I realized that the biggest area in which I was going to make impact was the one that I knew, the industry that I knew, because I understand how designers and creatives think, and, you know, what blocks are in their way. Mm-hmm. And for sure, as a coach, you know, if you're a great coach and you're trained in a good way, which I feel like really lucky to have had some fantastic training, I do believe you can coach anybody. And I do actually coach some men. And, you know, I've coached some traders and other people in different industries, which don't fit the bill that I advertise. But like I say, it's almost a creative way of thinking. So I don't even like my clients to get too hung up on, well, have I got to have this kind of job or this kind of business? I say to them, I just want you to think so creatively, because as humans, we are creative beings. So we should always be in creativity.
I totally agree. I think that for so many, there is no creative outlet, and that's what people are really wanting more of. They have that urge to create, but they're stifled by whatever it is that they do in their everyday life, that they don't have that outlet for it.
And gosh, isn't the trip that we just made to Necker Island an example of that, and that level of creativity that we don't have to, like I say, be in my industry in terms of the creative or design industry. But, you know, Sir Richard Branson, look at how creative he is, and the businesses he starts and the causes he works every day for. His mind is so creative.
And did you notice, this was something I came back with, I noticed that he never had a phone in his hand.
Oh my goodness, Michelle, I hadn't noticed.
Yep. There was never a phone, nothing. Not at dinner, not at lunch, not at the excursions. He never had a phone in his hand. That was a big takeaway for me of, if he doesn't need to check his messages, no, I certainly don't either.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. I'm taking that away from this podcast. I don't know whether anyone else listening is going to take that away, but I am literally running with that.
Yeah, that was a big deal for me to notice that and observe that. And there was no hurry. He was always present. And me, I'm someone, I may work from home, but I always have my phone on me. I'll take it to the bathroom because I'm like, what did people do before phones in the bathroom?
Exactly.
Read a book maybe?
Read a book. Yes. Yeah. But I think it's really amazing that you bring that up, because the presence that we have every day and how we all have access to being creative humans. Like I say, humans are creative. And really, how much more could we create? Whether it's you're one of my clients and you actually have a creative business, but let's just take that wider. And how much more could we create in terms of solutions and answers and progression if we gave ourselves time to be more creative with our ideas?
Right. And I totally agree, because creativity doesn't have to be, designing something or graphics or anything that takes color per se. I mean, for me to be creative, I get to create speaking topics for clients. I get to use words, to do different things. And that's the creative side for me that I get to do. So this doesn't have to be you're designing a dress line at all.
No. And I think being creative is, people can limit that to maybe having to draw, to paint, or to make something. But I was a journalist for 15 years. I was an interiors journalist, and I was creative before that, but also I used my creativity through that role, like you say, through words and creating a piece. You create topics. And I think there's probably so many people out there that don't give themselves enough credit for actually how creative they are in their roles or in their businesses every single day, or even if you don't work. And so you've taken a career break. And I mean, you show me a mother that isn't creative, hugely creative on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
How creative we all have to be just with our time even.
Oh, yeah. And now, speaking about all the creativeness, and we're talking about designing, I want to talk about your wardrobe. And I know this seems like a very big switch, but you wear pieces that come from are they all handmade? They're designed by women in the UK. And it's the most beautiful things you've ever seen. You're always put together so beautifully.
Well, thank you.
But I loved that you mentioned that the pieces are all special that you wear every day.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to just talk about this. And I didn't expect this. So thank you first off for the compliment. But yeah, it's something that I've really come to hold as special to me, that what I wear actually has an impact on me and how my clients feel as well. And it's really funny that you mentioned this, because when I came to NECA, I love earrings. I'm known, as well as the dresses I wear. So when I go to the club that I'm a member of in London, and every single time, I love all the staff there. And in the morning, there's one particular amazing woman that works on the reception desk. And she always says to me every morning, make sure you come and show me the dress you're wearing this morning. And this time, so I'm known for my earrings as well. So this time coming to NECA, I was really determined that my wardrobe of earrings were going to be from local women I know where I live, that are producing incredible brands of jewelry themselves. And I really made sure that everything that I bought that was new were from these three particular women. And that was my earrings wardrobe. And that means something to me, because I'm actually supporting the women, the British women that I know that are really growing these incredible businesses. But the same with my clothes. There are some amazing designers. And I think, who would I be if I didn't pay attention to these things? Because they matter, right?
And I love that. And obviously it stood out to me because you said that quite early on. And here we are. Oh man, it's like a month out.
Yeah.
And yet I still remember that. That's what stuck about you to me, was you were always so beautifully put together as I came out with my hair wet and up and just threw whatever was on. And I'm like, oh, you're just so perfectly, impeccably gorgeous every single day. And what you wore had meaning to it. And I just really appreciated that.
Oh, well, thank you. And isn't it amazing how we can impact how other people feel? And then, I mean, gosh, Michelle, you are gorgeous. And like you say, just your energy, and you've impacted me with the work you do. But it was funny, on Friday, I was in London. I'd had a couple of days of meetings, and I'm not often there on a Friday evening because it's hellish driving back to Cardiff, where I live, 3 hours away, or 4 hours in traffic. And I'd got back to the club really late and thought, you know what? I know it's a Friday night, but I'm going to nip upstairs to the bar and I'm going to sit and just have a Diet Coke before I drive home. It was a really warm, sunny evening in London. And I had this taxi ride back to the club in Marylebone near Marble Arch. And I'd had this incredible taxi driver, and we were chatting, and I had on this lovely billowy dress, and it was blowing everywhere as I was paying him as I got out the taxi. And I went upstairs, sat down in the bar and ordered this Diet Coke. And there were two ladies either side of the bar, each waiting for their guest to arrive. And I started talking to them. And the one lady said, I'm so glad you started talking to us, because I wanted to tell you, I saw you coming out of the taxi and I saw your dress. And she said, your hair was blowing everywhere and this dress was off the shoulder, because I'm very much like, who cares? I just had a really important meeting. But I'm like, you know what? It's a sunny day in London and I am going to show up all me. Just this is me. And she said, I came up and said to my friend, I've just seen this woman downstairs. I have to wear dresses more often. And it sparked off this huge conversation with them. And the other lady, both of them were in jeans and a top. And the other lady said, I've been wearing a dress all week, but it was the same dress. And I thought, I can't wear it again on Friday night. So I'm sat here in my jeans and I wish I had my dress on. And I said, so who told you couldn't wear that same dress every day? Who gives a hoot about whether you've worn that dress every day? Because what you care about is you wanted to wear it.
I love that.
Let's just decide who we want to be and how we want to feel every day and do that. Because I don't know whether I told you this, that while I was married for 14 years, I lived in black jeans, boots or pumps, and maybe a blazer. And I didn't have a dress in my wardrobe.
I can't even see that. I can see you in jeans and pumps and a blazer, but I can't see you not in one of those beautiful dresses.
Well, when I gave myself permission to fully step into who am I? So, it happens to some of us outside marriage. Who am I really? And I just embraced who I really wanted to be. And you know what? I don't have any jeans anymore. I don't wear them. I can't say I don't wear leggings. I do, but, for the dog walk and things. But no, my entire wardrobe is dresses.
And you know what's funny is I came back going, the uniform of a bathing suit and a cover-up every day, that's something I can get behind. And as soon as I came back from Necker, I was wearing more dresses. And I had some comments from moms in the pickup line of, you're wearing your dresses. Like, we're not. And I was like, okay, I feel a little odd. And I messaged with Sandia this week.
Yes.
And I said, I just want to wear my flowy cover-ups, but it doesn't really match all of the yoga pants that are a C over here in Silicon Valley. And she said, well, you need to stand out and be yourself, wear the flowy dresses. So yesterday afternoon, although I was at home, I wore the flowiest cover-up that I had brought to Necker. And I was like, yeah, I need to wear more of these.
Oh, this makes me so happy because, Michelle, my question to you is, what are you waiting for permission for to wear whatever you want to wear?
Yeah, because I don't even wear yoga pants.
So what, this is the thing is we've got to get up every day and think, okay, so who do I want to feel like? Say, what energy do I want to bring and what will help me do that?
Yeah. And I think it's acceptable to dress up if we want to, even when we have nowhere to go, but pick up the kids.
Well, can I share with you what my biggest fear in life is?
Yes, please.
Being underdressed. It is my biggest fear that I go anywhere and I am underdressed.
And I'm never really underdressed because I think it's better to be overdressed than underdressed.
I love to be overdressed. I love to be the most overdressed person because I just want to be myself and I don't see any limits to how we show up. So it's like, who cares? Who cares if we're in a dress, overdressed, makeup on, earrings on? Who cares? I dog walk with red lipstick, always wear big hoop earrings. This is what, makes me feel like I can kick ass every day.
And you do. I know you do.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing that. Because like I say, have you heard of Todd Herman? He's got a great book called Alter Ego. Have you heard of him? He's a great coach. And he's, for anyone listening, he's brilliant. I love him. And in the early days of my coaching journey, I really loved his teachings and still do. But he would say that when we need to psych ourselves up to push past limits that we have, he would say either go pick up a pen, and this really worked for me in my journalism career, pick up a pen, and when you're using this particular pen, you tell yourself, with this pen, the most incredible ideas are going to flow out of me. Or he used to wear glasses because he was young when he started his coaching journey, and he felt people wouldn't take him seriously enough unless he looked more intellectual. So he wore these fake glasses. And it gave him that mojo to be the coach he wanted to be. So you know what? Whether it's the hoop earrings, the red lipstick, whether it's the dresses, whether it's the earrings, whether it's the cover-ups, go own it. Pick your thing and go own it.
I love that. I do. And you know what? When I came home, I stopped wearing my Fitbit. And that may sound like nothing, but I have a Raymond Vail watch that I got when I graduated high school from my uncle. And I threw that on because it's gold and silver. And I threw on a bracelet that I got for my 40th from a girlfriend that's gold with, the diamonds. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wear this every day. I'm going to glam it up just a little bit, jewelry wise, as much as I can, between work and kids and swimming.
This is brilliant. I love hearing this.
You've inspired me. Yeah, no, I got to go dress shopping now.
I want you to, and I want to see it. And for anyone that's listening, that's thinking, oh, really? And the other thing is we get so caught up, don't we? I was for so long in what do we look like? What are our figures like? Can I wear this? And can I wear that? I think as long as we're just in integrity of just who do we want to be? Who do we want to feel inside? You know what? That energy will radiate out.
Absolutely. I love you. I wish that I got to wake up as my neighbor, with you as my neighbor every day.
And weren't we so lucky? We were just so lucky to be in this place where we all got to meet other incredible women. I mean, you inspire me. Gosh, the way that you, being interviewed by you on your podcast, you inspire me with the way that you just hold incredible space for women, well, particularly in this interview, but, you hold that space for a great conversation. And I just want you to know, as we're sharing this mutual love of getting to know each other on Necker, for me, it's really inspiring that you provide this space and you ask really incredible questions. And you're so intuitive on how people are and what they do. It's a really great opportunity to talk to you so that other women can be part of this bigger conversation.
Oh, thank you. That really means a lot to me because, I walk away and I'm like, oh, I'm so inspired by you. But I'm like, what? How did I inspire you?
Oh, you do. You do. You absolutely
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Tell everyone where they can find you and learn more about you? Because they need to follow you and all of your beautiful dresses and jewelry and everything else.
Well, thank you for that. Yes. If they want to follow me and really get the insider on what I'm wearing and where I am and what I'm doing, the little bit of who doesn't love behind the scenes? Instagram is definitely my happy place. I really own the fact that I don't find Instagram a chore. It's where I absolutely hang out. So if you follow me at Seriously Stylish Business, that's where I am over on Instagram. But if anyone else wants any more information, we have got the Seriously Stylish Business website, but we've also just launched, based on the styling aspect of it, we've launched our brand new online magazine called NicolaWilkes.com. It is in its infancy, so we have massive plans to create a personal growth, inspiration, coaching fest of a magazine online, but full of all of this style advice. I always say, doesn't everyone want to know what the top 5 dresses with pockets are that you should buy to wear when you're giving a talk? Or what the top five lipsticks that aren't going to, give you that really dry lip feeling? What are the top 5 red lipsticks you should be wearing? Or what are the best earrings to wear to create a real kind of impact whilst, not looking too over the top in a work meeting? What are all these things that we want to know mixed in with all the Inspiration Fest? So that's where people could find me. If they want more coaching mixed in with a bit of style, we're getting serious but stylish about business.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to be interviewed by a master at it. It is an honor to be interviewed by you.
You're making me blush. Thank you. Okay, all I can picture is Nikki in the big billowy dress with the taxi cab and the wind blowing her through her hair and all over. It just makes me smile because if you get to know Nikki, you know that she's one of the sweetest people, and that is proof in my interview with her. She's beautiful inside and out, and I love that she's creating more of an impact through helping other women that are local to her, that are designers and creators. And look at how she did that. She wore these items to Necker Island so that women from around the world would be able to see and experience them. And that is part of making a bigger impact by helping others. I'm so grateful to have gotten to spend time with Nikki, to look over my balcony and see her every morning and every evening. I can't wait to see what she does in the future and how she helps more designers and the rest of us conquer those limiting beliefs that we have and help create bigger impacts by sharing the work of each other.